we've come so far in the lineup, and I think we're starting to hold our own. And it's cool to see that guys are starting to like cheer us into waves and support us and see our potential, and that we're not just gonna sit on the side.
High five.
Sorry, stop looking at me.
What was that?
Hey everyone, welcome to International Women's Day. I'm Jessi Miley-Dyer from the WSL. I'm here with a couple of special guests. I've got a bunch of the World Championship Tour surfers with me. I've got Courtney Conlogue, Carissa Moore, Tatiana Weston-Webb. I have Lakey Peterson, and then I have Caroline Marks. So I know for me, I mean, obviously I'm a bit older than you guys. I had a really sweet pair of boys' rusty board shorts. They were bright yellow. They had like this black kind of weird pattern on it, but like, you know, the girls surf brands didn't exist. There were no board shorts for girls. You know, I didn't know anyone who surfed in the water. You know, if I had someone to surf with, it would have been awesome. Did you know any girls in the water?
Honestly, I didn't really know many girls. It was usually just me out there at lowers, and then when I was 9, I actually met Carissa, and we were little Roxy girls together. That was probably my first time actually surfing with other girls.
Growing up on Kauai, we have an amazing surfing community, and thankfully I looked up to Alana and Bethany, and so I loved watching them surf, and like I would literally run up to them and get their autographs. And then we also had like the local community rippers, so I think I was really blessed to like grow up watching those girls, but mostly it was with my brother, Troy.
Do you think it makes a difference, like to know there's other girls in the lineup? Like to feel, like do you feel like you felt like it wasn't as scary to paddle out because you knew people out there?
I think because I had my brother, I kind of like couldn't be intimidated, because if I showed like any intimidation, he would have like just rousted me. And then I probably would have just gone in. So I definitely couldn't have been like showing that kind of intimidation.
Is there anything that you'd have to overcome though to be a female in professional surfing? Do you, like, what's the hardest thing?
I mean, I don't know if you guys had experiences with it, but body image, and I think it's come a long way. I think, you know, we are really appreciated for our athleticism and our performances more than ever now. But it has come a long way. It wasn't always that way. And I just remember starting out, and, you know, as a teenager, your body's going through so many different changes, and you know, social media, and people are always commenting because you're in a bathing suit. Everyone is seeing everything. So as a woman, I think that was maybe something that men don't really have to deal with. Yeah. And I just remember there were like hot lists and stuff, and it's hard when you don't make them, you know? Like, you're like, oh, I want to be hot. Yeah. I want to be. But I think that just comes with like maturity, realizing that it's not, you're not defined by those like social things, and definition of beauty is from within. And yeah, I would be interested to ask the guys if they've ever had to like worry about how they look in board shorts. Yeah. You know?
They definitely don't have to worry about how they look. So. I think like for me also, the other biggest thing was just like having, especially in like my lineup at home, was just like having to continuously prove myself. I felt that so much, like as a young girl, like I'm pretty much the only one out there surfing like pretty nuts waves, and the boys are just like kind of like, what, if we tell you to go on the biggest set, you're gonna go? Are you gonna go? And I'm like, I guess so. Like, so it just kind of like, I guess it's great because it made me the surfer I was today, but there was also like this continuous pressure every time I paddled out. So I think that it made me who I am, but I think there's a better way to do that.
Do you guys feel like there's something to being doubted as like a young girl?
Oh yeah,
by guys and stuff, you know, like, oh, okay, no, I'm gonna prove them.
Yeah, like
wrong.
watch this.
Yeah, like okay, watch me go, you know, or whatever. And I feel like maybe with all of us that compete, like we naturally have that from a young age of feeling like, okay, you don't want to believe in us, like we'll just go do it. And I think, I don't know, I think that was probably a driving force for like all of us in a way, you know.
Totally.
Yeah. When I was younger, I remember my second year of tour, I hadn't won a single event, and I was ready to throw the towel in. And I was like, you know, if I don't win an event this year, I'm going to go back to college, because I'm not making a living, I'm in the red. You had to win to really make a living, you know? And so DY was the next event. There was a moment where I was fighting in the ocean, fighting myself, then finally I let go. And then everything just kind of fell into place, and I gave it my best shot. And I ended up getting my first win. I was like, whoa, what just happened? I love all the girls on the tour, so to be a part of this is absolutely amazing. It feels like a big family. So, yeah, to win one is absolutely, yeah, there's no words for it.
Well, I think at that time on tour, you probably made like 10 grand for that win.
The DUI was actually the richest prize purse.
Yeah. Oh my
gosh. I think it was 20 for that one.
So
you came in at a good time, girl.
I know, Caroline.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I went back and had a look too, and I was like, wow, like first place will be 10 times. I made 10 grand in Maui.
Yeah.
It'll be 10 times.
That's how every single event was.
Yeah.
And if you got 13th or 9th, you were like taking nickels home after taxes. You're like,
you made
wow.
about $1,000.
And I remember US Open in 2009. It was my first time actually winning, and it was such a huge change this year because the fluctuation between the men's and the women's prize purse.
Yeah.
I had one, initially it was going to be $4,500, and the men were going to make $100,000.
Yeah.
And that was like, and I was so excited because then they're like, wow, okay, there's all this talk going on behind the scenes. They're going to pay you more. I'm like, whoa, am I getting $100,000? And then on the check it said $10,000, which I was still very grateful. I mean, I was, what, 16? When you're that young, making that much money, you're stoked. You're like, yeah, I'm still in high school. But no, I think where the sport's been, it's given us the knowledge on what we need to do to know where to go now.
I just wanted to ask Caroline how you feel like coming into the sport at this time. Like, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, I didn't really know anything else other than equal pay, so it's incredible. It's gonna be cool to see where the sport goes in like the next 5 years, 10 years. It's pretty darn amazing to see where it's gone. Like even from 5 years ago to now is like mind blowing. Like seriously. So it's just super cool to be a part of with everyone. So yeah.
The Olympics, dude.
I know, the Olympics is happening. That's amazing. It's so cool because there's gonna be so many people that maybe have never heard of surfing or never been a fan that probably become a fan because it's gonna be the Olympics.
Good timing.
Good timing.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Nowadays, it's so cool to paddle out because I feel like this last year and a half, 2 years specifically, is just, you go out at lowers now and there's almost more girls than guys.
Yeah.
You know, you're not so outnumbered. I just feel like that never used to fully be the case, but now it's like, it's kind of scary. I'm like, how old are you? There's a lot of little shredders out there. I mean, Carissa puts on a whole camp for like,
No, but I was going to say that too. When I first started surfing on the South Shore of Oahu, like I would be maybe one of 2 girls in the lineup. And then now when I paddle out to my local spot, there's like 12 little girls on the daily. There's more little girls than boys out. And I'm like, wow, how cool is this? Just with the, World Surf League, getting the, surfing out there more. I think that there's more girls seeing what's possible and getting excited about the future, and I think it's awesome about them getting in the water.
So this year, one of the things that we're going to do is every contest that we go to, we're going to do like an engagement program with young girls. We're going to go surfing with young kids. We're going to teach young girls how to surf as well, and kind of get to introduce them to it. And we were looking at community programs like yours, and obviously More Aloha is amazing, and it's so nice to see you doing it because I can see how much you love it. Like, do you feel like you're trying to create something that would have helped you when you were a kid?
Well, when I was growing up, I took part in a few camps. The one that was most memorable for me was the Rochelle Ballard camp, where we went to.
I went there.
I went to Mount Cali.
Yeah, and those were so special. I haven't heard of anything like that since, and I just remember like how much fun it was hanging out with the girls, going surfing, learning from Rochelle, who was a hero to me, and just being able to be in her space and watch how she approached her routine and her everyday life, and just absorbing her essence was like really cool as a young Grom. So I kind of wanted to recreate that, and it's a passion of mine for sure. Just to go back to the challenges that I think we've all faced as women coming up in the sport of surfing, like it has been a pretty male-dominated sport, and that it hasn't really been talked about. But like, you know, decision making on game day and who gets to go surf. Like that's always been a challenge. I've left contests being just frustrated because we didn't get the good call. And that's come so far, you know? So I just like, it's just rad to see like in all aspects of the sport, not just like pay, but like everything it's just really exciting.
Like they're putting faith in us now. Like, oh yeah, she's gonna get the best wave for sure. Like she's out like.
Did you ever think, you know, you've been asking all of us questions, but did you ever think during your time as commissioner, a moment like this would have happened?
You know, I thought that we would get there, my time here at the WSL, when I was on tour and surfing, if someone had said to me that one day the sport of surfing would be leading the way with equality and we would have equal prize money, I would have actually laughed in their face. For sure, because like we were so far down the road of like, you know, like the sideshow, like, and Carissa was on tour even when I was on the CT. Like I would never have thought that we would have equal prize money and that we would have like $100 grand for first place. That's crazy. I know I don't want to keep saying the number, but for you guys, so you don't have to focus on it. But like $100 grand is a massive difference to
that's
the
like a down payment on a house.
Yeah.
With individuals like us wanting to prove someone wrong, you end up breaking barriers and busting through doors.
Yeah, I think it's like you got to think outside the box and bigger than what the world or society tells you that you should do or can do, or like how you should surf per se. Like oh, dude, girls don't try airs and they don't
or like
surf
backside
figure well.
tube ride or something.
Yeah, don't surf figure waves and this and that and the other. There's something to just owning you and what you want to achieve, and go out and try your airs and go out and surf a bigger wave, and don't be worried about what you should be doing. Do what you want to do.
Well, this has been really cool. Thank you everyone for joining, and happy International Women's Day.
Yeah.